Welcome back, Year 11. So, next topic we're going to look at is managing the marketing function. So, for this podcast, we're looking at the marketing function and its relationship to overall business objectives. So, the next thing we're going to look at is why do companies worry about the marketing function? So, what's the idea behind it? So, really, just it helps the company to identify and source potentially successful products for the marketplace, and then promoting them by differentiating them from similar products. So typical tasks within the marketing function that large companies do, and to an extent smaller companies, performing market research, producing a marketing plan based on this research, and a lot of time product and service development. So obviously based on the research they find, they might discover a need in the market that's not being met, and they can try and fill this need with a product or service, which obviously the more information they have, the more likely it will be successful. So they strategically oversee things like advertising, promotion, distribution for sale, customer service, and public relations will also go under this kind of marketing function banner. So one of the key concepts to remember is what a market-focused business needs to do is to create a market products that customers will purchase. So even if you have a good product, you need to make sure that your customers know about it and that they'll purchase it and they know where they can get it, how they can get it, and how much it's going to cost them. So this all goes under the idea of the marketing function. So obviously they do this like any business in order to make a profit. So that's the big main objective of anything in the marketing function, is to get customers to buy the product. So just remember this. I think I've probably said this about 20 times at this point. Marketing is not solely advertising. I know it's very similar to C, because advertising is what we think of when we think of marketing, but marketing is a mix of things. We know the marketing mix. There's 4Ps. There's the product, the price, the place, and promotion. So if you really think of marketing, it's pretty much anything that a business does in order to get customers to buy a product is considered marketing. So if they change the price on a sale, that's a market. That's marketing. If they develop a product, or they change the product slightly, or develop a new product, again, that's marketing. They change where you can get it, the place. So if they have it online or a new store, this will be considered a marketing thing. And promotions, what we think of advertising and maybe some more promotions like events and social media. All these things are kind of will go under P as well. So this is also marketing, and this is what you think of when you think of marketing, but it's not solely advertising or promotions. That's just one aspect of it. So a simple question any business owner, business manager, marketing manager, anyone within a business, they really want to ask themselves is, what do customers want to buy now and in the future? So this is really the essence of marketing. So you're finding out what your customers want, and then you attempt to satisfy their needs. So you think of marketing, it's a total system of interacting activities designed to plan, price, promote, and distribute products to present and potential customers. So again, it's not just advertising, it's a total system of all these things working together, all the 4Ps coming together, working together. This is the marketing mix, the marketing function. So how can you use this information and these 4Ps of marketing in order to get customers to buy your product? And that is really the essence of marketing. So what do customers want to buy now and in the future? So how can you meet their needs? What do they want? And how can you satisfy it? So why do businesses use marketing? Well, 70% of all new products fail within the first year. This is a staggering statistic. This can be put down to failure in marketing. Very simple. Having a good product is simply not good enough. You have to be able to make sure that your customers are aware of it, they can get it at a price that's affordable to them, and it matches everything. It's in a place they can buy it, it's at the right price, it's promoted well, and it's obviously the product itself has to be pretty good. All 4Ps of marketing must work in unison. This is attempted by developing a good marketing plan. So what is a marketing plan? So really, it's just a document that lists activities aimed at achieving particular marketing outcomes in relation to a good or service. The plan provides a template for future actions aimed at reaching market objectives, such as establishing a customer base. So just continuing on with the marketing plan. So to translate business objectives, so for example, to increase profits into reality. So if your objective is to increase your profits, this is what you want to do. So a marketing plan must be prepared that sets out a series of actions or strategies that can be used in order to achieve greater sales. So you have an end goal, a main objective. So you just develop this plan based around your marketing knowledge from market research, from the product you have, from the place, anything you have that's in your disposal that can be used. You you create a plan that can help you reach an objective. So it's not good enough to have an objective to increase profits. You have to also use your marketing function to coexist with this plan and work together to actually reach these objectives. So to achieve the objective of profit maximization, the marketing plan should be focused on both short-term and long-term planning. So it's not good enough just to have short-term profit gains and long-term profit gains. You need to really have both. So we know the marketing plan outlines the strategies to be used to kind of bring the buyer and seller together, but really it's asking and answering a lot of questions about the market. So you need to be able to, a business needs to be able to identify where exactly the market is, who will buy the product, so why and how often will they buy the product. So this is really the core of marketing, is satisfying customer wants, which if successful should lead to repeat sales. So marketing is the revenue generating activity of any business. Nothing is achieved until a sale is made. So just remember that. So modern day marketing. So if you're thinking like a modern day marketer, business owners need to view their business in terms of the needs and wants of their customers. So everything a business does should be directed towards putting the customer at the center of its thinking. So to do this successfully requires adopting a customer-oriented approach to marketing. So, for example, if you go back to the 1950s, what businesses were mainly doing was creating a product and then selling it to you. They were telling you this is the product, and they were telling you the benefits of why you need it. So now that kind of approach is really gone. It's in the past. So now it's a customer-oriented approach. So instead of telling customers what they want, but are selling them what they've already made, they're asking customers what they want, and then they're making something to satisfy their needs. So it's kind of putting the customer first, which is obviously going to be more successful in the long term. So if you think back to, example would be 1950s, you think of people making appliances like for like washing machines or ironing, whatever it is. I always think of advertising to women at the time, and it's like, this is what you need to do. You need to buy this iron. You need to buy this iron, and this will do this for you. It's not asking them what kind of iron they need or what kind of washing machine would be useful for them. They're just telling them this is what we've made and this is what you should be buying. So that whole approach is really gone now. It's really, a business that thinks like that won't be very successful. But a business who actually listens to their customers, listens to what they want, does the research, finds out what's missing, and then creates something that will fill this hole, that business will be a lot more successful, and will have if that's the mindset they have, it will be more likely to be constantly increasing and improving their products to meet customer demands. And the essence of any good business is always to be doing this. So this customer-oriented approach is really the new sense of how marketing and how you should be thinking if you're a marketer. So if you think of this consumer-oriented marketing, so today's world, the market is characterized by a number of products, a variety of diverse customers and stiff competition. It's not one company dominating the market anymore. There are some cases where that is still true, but a lot of times people can develop similar products, and there's so much variety and so much choice customers have. So in this scenario, it's more difficult for a marketer to actually sell their product because there's another business selling a product very similar. So they have to really change their mindset. So the marketing with the consumer in mind has become a necessity. So not only is this important, to be honest, it's actually a necessity because there's so much choice, so much variety, so much different business out there. It's like very competitive. It's not good enough to design something and tell people they need to buy it. You need to ask them what they want and design it for them. This way you're going to differentiate from the competition, and you're actually going to be giving them what they want. So if someone wants something, they'll come and get it. They'll get it. They'll pay for it. They'll pay the money that they need it and want it. So never before have consumers had such a choice. So how do you make sure they choose you? That's really the question that any marketer should be thinking. So continuing on this consumer-oriented marketing. So marketing managers are shifting their focus from selling a product they've created to creating something that the customer needs and wants. So that's really just repeating what I've just said. But yeah, it's very important that you start to think of the focus now for any business is on the customer, and then the product almost comes later. Starting from product creation to selling and servicing, consumer focus is given the utmost priority. So you think of focus group discussions, surveys, feedbacks done by companies to understand consumers are some examples to show how much importance is given to consumers. So you probably not actually aware of this, but Brita in the office does consumer group survey discussions for Nike. So Brita every couple of weeks gets a new pair of Nike runners that haven't hit the market yet, and she'll wear them. She'll talk about their comfort, what she likes about them, what she dislikes about them, and there'll be other people in different target markets and different demographics who will also be given free pairs of shoes. So she's rewarded with a free pair of shoes, and all she gives is feedback. And then obviously Nike will take this information from the small group, and they'll decide if this shoe is worth selling, if this is what people want, what are they telling us, and then they'll design something based on what information they're receiving. So again, you could think of Nike, they could create a shoe, and they could just say this is a great shoe. They could just market it, advertise it as being a shoe that everyone needs. Or in this sense, they actually go to people, they give them examples of shoes, and then they ask them what's good about the shoe, what can we improve about the shoe, and it's for general feedback. In this sense, they're putting the customer's needs first, and then they're developing they'll improve the shoe, or develop the shoe, or push forward with the shoe based on the feedback they've given. So if you think about it that way, the business's likelihood of success is going to be far higher than if they just create something and then try to push it on the market. So a good example I found about how companies put their consumer first is Harley Davidson, for example. So not a lot of people are going to really go out and buy a Harley Davidson. It's not for everybody. Not everyone buys a motorcycle. It's a small market, and then within motorcycles, not everyone buys a Harley because they are relatively expensive. But so Harley have actually embraced the idea that 1% of the population really are going to make that brand iconic. They never looked back, right? So there's going to be 1% who's going to think, Harley Davidson, they're the bike. So it's not a massive proportion of motor vehicle sales, and it's not even a big proportion of motorbike vehicle sales. So what's Harley done is they built this website. So they build a community. So they echo in their brand in real life. The website is about experience. You click on the tab and you open like a new world. Right? So the trip planner leverages great partnering with Sunoco and Best Western. So these are hotels. The mashup allows the rider to design the ride. The communities allow people to do just about anything they may desire, from learning to ride, showing off their bike, finding a riding buddy, getting gear. So you don't so much buy a bike, you join a community that kind of lives to ride. So Harley Davidson, again, have put their customers' needs first. They're trying to get people to come together and really let them market it for them, because they're letting them come together and discuss things on forums and talk about their bikes and come up with people who also have this bike. So they're really they're not just creating Harleys and telling people to buy them. They're saying there's only 1% of people are going to buy a Harley, so let's get these people together, get them to buy Harley gear, get them to continue buying Harleys for life. So in this sense, they have a primary target market, almost like a niche market, and they just target these all the time. So their main focus now is on these customers, because they're the ones who are going to be giving them repeat purchases, and they're going to be the greatest revenue generators. So it makes sense for a company to put these customers' needs and their wants and actually provide some sort of service for them that's a little bit out of the ordinary. And in this sense, Harley Davidson has actually done really well in actually keeping these customers loyal and coming back to buy Harleys for life. So every time they get a new bike, they'll continue to buy Harleys based on ideas and services and kind of promotions like this that they do on their website. So we could probably group all these ideas together in what we call the marketing concept. So this is really a philosophy that businesses should analyze the needs of their customers and then make decisions to satisfy those needs, so also better than their competition. So this customer-oriented approach became big in the 1950s, and it brought a big change to the marketing itself. So the need to do market research was witnessed, and the development of the marketing concept took toll. So marketing research was something that wasn't really done before the 1950s, because they thought they designed something and they just sell it. Right now they're thinking like, well, we actually should find out what people want, and we should build what they want, and we should make what they want. So the marketing concept is that the customer's needs and wants are met while also achieving business objectives. So this is how marketing concept and the marketing function has a relationship to marketing objectives. So if the business wants to make profits, that's fine. That's obviously increase sales. That could be the objective. So how do they increase sales? How do they get the marketing concept to help them increase sales? Well, they find out what the customer wants, and they sell to that customer. And if they actually listen to them and they design something that they are pretty sure won't fail because they've done the research, they know their customers, well then this will help them achieve their objectives of having greater sales and greater profits, because they know what they're selling is what people want. So it's all about answering questions and going into the market with very little data about the possible success of your product or service. So I'll leave you with this. So you can see from this last image here, so marketing must work with all business departments. So the marketing function and the marketing concept and the marketing plan, anything that's marketing related, also must tie in with the production department, the financial planning, the organizational planning, human resources. So you need to have the people, the products, everything in order in this working together. So if you're going to have a marketing plan, you must be able to financially pull it off. If you're going to be selling products, you must be able to. If you're going to have the plan to release a product by a certain date, well, then your production team are going to have to know that these products and this amount of numbers needs to be ready by this date. and it has to be organized. So it all ties in. So so the customers are still the needs. So how can we meet the customer's needs? And then they go back to decide a marketing plan, and every department within the business should be working towards the same marketing plan. And in this case, there'll be no mix-ups. For example, I said if the business are planning on launching a new product on the 5th of August in 2015, well then the production team will have to have these products ready by the 5th of August, or else their plan won't go ahead as successful. So all the plan and the approach and the concept and all these things, they must be working together with other departments. The marketing department will be working with the financial department, working with the production department, they're working with the organizational department, the human resources, any other department in the business. They all be working together towards the marketing goals based on what they've found in the market, the needs, and the research, and so on and so forth.